gym. Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
RowPaint.com is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. It's Coach Leon Rice and Andy Rowe.
Oh no. Want to just paint my house?
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
Get ready for the time of your life at Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas's newest destination for fun, featuring the world's biggest poolside tailgate party with 3 levels of action, 6 pools, and a 143-foot screen. The fun is always on deck with all the games all year long. Stadium Swim, located in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Book the time of your life today at Circa.
It's time for Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny. From what's happening on the blue at Boise State to the Mountain West and beyond. The biggest storylines, the best guests, and most outlandish opinions from 2 dudes who eat, sleep, and breathe college football. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny, featuring former Boise State quarterback and longtime coach Mike Sanford and KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Johnny Mallory on Bronco Nation News.
Season 1, episode 17 of an 18-week season. Welcome, Ball Talk, Sanford, Johnny. Going to be a thrill to have you guys with us. Appreciate the Wednesday audience, right? It is Wednesday. We're typically with you on Monday, so appreciate you guys adjusting your schedules. Kind of a bowl extravaganza edition of Ball Talk. Again, I'm Johnny Ball. Game with me, former Yale University fullbacks coach Mike Sanford. Ready to go and get after it today. Coach, welcome to Ball Talk. Good to have you this week. Going to be a fun one.
It sure is, man, and it's good to be back on. Anne-Marie and I just got back from New York City, so I apologize to Ball Talk Nation. It's a big nation, a humongous nation, and a great nation. All our beautiful people out there. Good friends of the program. But I apologize for not being here on Monday because on Monday night, my wife and I were in New York City watching the legend of Tommy DeVito. Tommy Cutlets. Tommy Cutlets. And let's just say I have never seen a phenomena in my life like seeing the Italian-American community rally behind Tommy DeVito in New York City. My goodness. In fact, his agent. Anne-Marie, oh, man, his agent was rolling, man. Sean Stellato and Tommy DeVito. So I got Anne-Marie and I celebrated, I'm a Packers fan. I'm a Jordan Love fan, but it was hard not to get captivated by the Tommy DeVito love. And the Tommy Cutlets chants that were breaking out all throughout MetLife Stadium to the 80,000 that were there. But we celebrated by going to Little Italy down on Mulberry Street and getting some good some good Italian food. Had some nice, New York City pies. Man, it was good.
Wow. Did you know anything in regards to Tommy DeVito? Did you recruit him? Did you see him at a camp? Did you know the coaches at Syracuse or Illinois, Big Ten, whatever? I mean, did you know anything of this Tommy DeVito?
I did actually. I had part of evaluating him. Liked his athleticism. It wasn't surprising to me that he ran for 79 yards in a Monday Night Football game against the Packers, who were vying for a playoff spot. But very athletic, and it showed up, man. The kid's tough. There's no doubt about it. And he lives with his parents, and his mom does his laundry. His food's waiting for him, cutlets or whatever it may be. So just a fascinating story. It is the football version of Linsanity. That would be the equivalent that I have right now, just being in New York City and seeing the magnitude of that market, and seeing Tommy DeVito, New Jersey's own, just about 12 miles from MetLife Stadium where he grew up. So it was
you guys posted up for a while. Where are you going next?
Yeah, we're gonna head to the Bay Area for Christmas, go see Amory's family, and it's been fun. Early on in the season, doing a lot of media stuff, and coaching high school football. I didn't want to travel. But this is the first fall where we've been able to do stuff like this. Certainly with the world of the transfer portal recruiting. I've talked to coaches in the industry that haven't seen their families for like 11 days. It's been good for us to be able to get to some games and reconnect with some people in the football industry at different places.
You've been to a ton of bowl games. Let's start just kind of with the bowl experience, player, coach, everything that's going through. It feels to me like it should be fun. It should be a reward. This is the last time this group will ever be together. And win the game. Make that's probably more than the cherry on top of a great week, but just the whole bowl game experience where it sits now with college football, your experience is tied in. What's going through your head this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, bowl games are such a treat, especially I think when you have the combination of an early bowl game. I think everybody wants an early bowl game nowadays because you maximize your time to be with your family at home, get away from campus, and then you also want a warm weather, good destination, for Boise State, check. That's if you're not playing in a New Year's Six bowl game or you're not playing in the CFP, you want to play early and you want to play in a great destination. When I was at Utah State, with Jordan Love's final season before he was drafted, we actually played in the first game, the first day of bowl games, very similar to Boise State in the Frisco Bowl. And it was an awesome bowl experience. It was kept mama happy, because she was going to get a traditional Christmas. I mean, I've had bowl games in my lifetime when I was a coach's kid. One in particular was the Shreveport, Louisiana. We played in the Poulan Weed Eater Independence Bowl when my dad was coaching at Notre Dame.
Nice. The Weed Eater. Yeah, man. Hell of a trophy.
Oh, man. We traveled on the 23rd. And I'll never forget, we were in Shreveport, Louisiana at a holiday. It was a holidome. It was a dome holiday in whatever. And, place was a little, wasn't the greatest hotel I've stayed at in my lifetime. But there was no dinner on Christmas. And so I was like starving. I'm like, Mom and Dad, I need to eat something. So I had Christmas dinner at a frozen burrito at a 7-Eleven in Shreveport, Louisiana. So Boise State lucked out. They got the December 16th draw in a warm weather destination with fantastic hotels and great cuisine. It's kind of what you're looking for. But you know what? To answer your original question, the bowl season in this transfer portal, NIL, even the opt-out era of college football, which really is accelerated post 2020. It's almost like the bowl games are almost a hindrance to some schools. What I love about the Boise State experience this season is that it's an exclamation point, an ascension on an unbelievable turnaround and finish. So it feels tangibly like a reward to these players after winning a conference championship. And really just overcoming a lot of adversity. I mean, like we sat on this show and I said that there's a very, very likely path to having the first under 500 season in Boise State history in the last quarter century, really since they've been a Division 1A FBS team. There's been one season sub 500 in FBS Boise State history.
96 and 97.
96 and 97. I mean, basically, it doesn't exist. I mean, that's almost 30 years. It's 27.
Yeah, it was there.
Seasons.
It was in play. It really felt that way.
And conversely, I felt it, and I felt it deep inside of me. Just listening to Spencer, listening to the team rally behind Spencer. So this team's going to compete to be 9-5. Like, wait, what? No, not 9-5.
Yeah.
And here we are, a chance to be 9-5. Didn't say I told you so, but I told you so.
Yeah, sure you did, Coach. BJ Rains is going to join us with a Taco Bell update live from Los Angeles. Get ready for the bowl game. You'll hear from Riley Smith and some other stuff here on Ball Talk. Got the mic drop coming up in a second. But quickly again on the bowl games, do you have a favorite memory as a player or a coach? Do you have you get gifts. This is the giving season, right? You all get all these gifts as a player or coach in bowl games. Was there one gift in any of the bowl games you've been in where you were like, holy shnikes, they gave us that?
Yeah, I think the bowl experience is a lot better as a player. You grind as a coach because you're still in your game week mode. I've been around where a head coach says, let's get everything done before we leave. Practice scripts are done, everything's done, and then you get there after having worked like 20-hour days to get everything ready for the bowl game. And then all of a sudden there's staff meetings and your wife and kids are like, well, you said that you were going to be around. Where are you? But it's a whole heck of a lot more enjoyable as a player. You have a pretty set schedule. You get to partake in all the activities and events that the bowl offers. A lot of those events are really cool. A lot of, it's interesting. About 20 years ago, there was always a dinner between the two teams. And I've always loved that. I love the bowl events where both teams are present. You can kind of feel the vibe. You kind of look at the other team. I'm a 6'4" guy, so are there quarterbacks?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get off the bus real well. You did.
I was a get off the bus guy.
Totally.
Just didn't want to throw me out on that field except for to hold, PATs and field goals. But dang, coming off that bus, man. But yeah, I love that. I love that interaction with the opposing team. And I think my favorite bowl game, just memory, was the Fort Worth Bowl in 2002. We stayed at this unbelievable hotel. It was fancy, right in downtown Fort Worth. Fort Worth was a town I didn't know much about, and it was just such a fun town. I mean, I think I might have been of the age where, you might, partake in certain things that you didn't maybe when I was a freshman or a sophomore. So it was just a lot of fun to be able to be around guys. I think that might've been, there was a great group of senior class. I believe that was, I drawn a blank. I think it was BJ Rohde's last year, maybe.
The 03 team, that was RD's final year.
No, 03. Yeah, I said
that was the RD team.
Yeah,
his senior year. That was the first bowl game away from the blue. So I remember you guys were just pumped. Like everybody was like, we get to actually go to a bowl game. Yeah. That was cool.
And not only that, but we were, what were we, 12-1, 11-1, something.
One loss to Oregon State.
Yeah. And TCU was unbelievably good. So it was a marquee bowl matchup with two teams with insane records before they had the BCS that allowed one BCS kind of Cinderella story. So it felt like that game and then the 04 Liberty Bowl were both kind of like playing games for the non power conference teams.
Yeah.
And those two games were just awesome.
Yeah, because the records, you guys were, one loss, undefeated, like those were massive record games. We're going to get to Tiller time, and Coach Sanford's going to talk about getting a freshman, getting someone ready for their first start, albeit in a bowl game or week one. So we'll get a ton of that going. But first, let's get to our mic drop. Looking forward to this one. Second to last episode of Ball Talk on this. BJ, let's set this up. Mic drop in 90 seconds.
All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com for all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs. Check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com.
Ball Talk presented by Bronco Brew Coffee. And Bronco Brew Coffee, it's not by accident that this mic drop is sponsored by you, because it has a lot to do with the work that you're doing and the fine people in Boise, Idaho are doing around my mic drop segment for this 17th mic drop of this 18th season. And for all of you watching, we are going to do our last and final episode of this season's of Ball Talk, not for all time. We'll have a special announcement about Ball Talk going forward in the future, but we're going to do it right in between the playoff Final 4 games and the national championship game in January. So we'll be releasing that on socials and let you know when that final episode of Ball Talk is. And we appreciate the journey. Once again, this mic drop is brought to you by Bronco Brew Coffee. And my mic drop this week is about upsets. And the biggest upset in Boise State football history wasn't the Fiesta Bowl win over Oklahoma. Wasn't any of the wins against Oregon. Wasn't any the Las Vegas Bowl win over Coach Pete in Washington. And I believe that the biggest upset from my vantage point, from the data that I've collected from talking to people in the industry, the biggest upset in Boise State history was Ashton Jeanty staying for 2024 on the blue. Here's why. Well, first off, an upset and the makings of an upset, they require a team. And there was a team put together, Spencer Danielson, Jeremiah Dickey, the fine people that came up with a very competitive NIL package, widely reported, a lot of money, place to stay, and a car. I don't know the exact details. Nobody really does, maybe. At least I don't. So I'm not going to report on that myself. So there was a team that put this in front of Ashton Jeanty, but in every major upset, not just a team, but an individual, a player, is somebody who comes out of maybe nowhere, surprises everybody. And that person, and that's why I'm wearing his NIL shirt, is Ashton Jeanty himself. Ashton Jeanty, from what I have heard in my very well-connected sources in the industry, turned down several seven-figure deals that have been on the table for the better part of over a month, maybe 2 months. Ashton Jeanty is, I believe wholeheartedly, the best returning running back in college football in 2024. And the bigger upset is going to be the campaign that now can be created starting now for the Ashton Jeanty 2024 Heisman Trophy winner at Boise State. You heard it, at Boise State. A lot of these games where Boise State has won that have been considered big upsets, I'll be honest, I saw them coming. I did not see this coming at all. And it took a very unique individual in Ashton Jeanty to make this upset happen. Of course, the team that put it together was incredible. But Ashton Jeanty, and I saw it in earlier parts of the season, the interviews that he conducted and gave, is unbelievably humble, loyal, and team-first individual. And I think that's why he's going to have a tremendous career in the National Football League, because personality, character, integrity, loyalty, they matter. And they mattered with Ashton Jeanty making his decision to finish out his college career in the best field in all of college football. So Ashton Jeanty, congrats to you. Upset, the biggest upset in Boise State football history. Coming back for a 2024 Heisman Trophy campaign. Let's get that upset rolling. A group of 5 Heisman Trophy winner in an era where it's all about 2 conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten. Let's get this thing done. One more upset in 24. Mic drop.
That might have been my favorite Bronco Brew coffee mic drop we've done in 17 episodes. You guys in the comments, that ball hasn't even landed yet. You hit that so far. That's or a Bay Area shot into McCovey Cove.
Steroid era.
Sandman.
Steroid
Sandman. Opposite field. Oppo. Over, bro. That's what kind of shot that was. Hell yeah. 7 figures, multiple. You heard that. Like, I mean, yeah, that was on the table, huh? The kid loves it here. Wow. That's awesome, man. People are commenting good stuff on Ball Talk. Let's get to our Taco Bell update. Bring BJ Rains onto Ball Talk. BJ live from Los Angeles for the LA Bowl here on Bronco Nation News. BJ, what's going on, man? Welcome, Ball Talk. Good to have you on. LA. Hell yeah. First, though, mic drop. BJ, you heard that? Wow, that was a good one, huh?
Yeah, I had heard that he certainly was getting some high offers. I hadn't heard multiple 7-figure, but you could the pauses, the passion in what Mike said there, the dramatic pauses for effect were very impressive there. So
what a kid, man. Yeah, it was going to be a great offseason. I mean, this is Jeanty mania in Boise. In most cases in sports, when you have like a mania or a sanity after it, it usually doesn't end well, right? You know, Lynn Sanity, Tebow Mania, but Jeanty Mania, I think, is going to work real well in Boise. And I think that's what this offseason is going to be. I can't wait to talk about on IST and BNN. But BJ, give us the update. Los Angeles, LA Bowl. What's up?
Yeah, happy to be down here today for BNN. We're going to hear from Riley Smith in a minute, but Boise State on the practice field today. El Camino Junior College was the spot, and obviously Boise State holding their first of 3 practices here in Los Angeles today, and we did not have a morning show today as I was traveling, which is why I'm parachuting in and crashing your show today for a few minutes, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to do that. But this video provided by Boise State, the Broncos today practicing at El Camino Junior College. As I said, the news of the day, Bush Hamdan named offensive coordinator, retained, signed to a new deal, 2-year deal worth $940,000, I believe it was. And it's the largest contract for an assistant coach at Boise State in Boise State history. And all eyes on CJ Tiller today. You saw him right there, guys. Obviously going to be starting. I know you guys are going to talk about it here in a little bit, but he took almost the majority of the first team reps. You see him right there going through some throws, and was watching him kind of command the offense. And it was interesting. They were having to take turns doing the signals, because you have no Taylon Green, you have Maddox Madsen on the crutches. So whichever quarterback was in the offense, the other one had to hurry over and put on the headset and do the signals. So was great weather, good to be out there. And Spencer Danielson, again, nothing's changed with this guy since being named head coach. He was out there working even harder than some of these practices where he's just a position coach, working with guys, working with the linebackers. And it was a pretty good practice. So it was fun to be out there today. And one of the things, guys, that we're doing as part of this NIL era you talk about, Mike Sanford, is we were able, thanks to a local company that stepped up in Boise, Element Fencing, they were able to put money straight into Riley Smith's pocket to do some reports for us and some interviews and things. It's a cool new era of NIL game, and I thought with the bowl game, it was a perfect opportunity. Riley Smith's final game at Boise State to have him kind of have some fun and help us out. So Element Fencing is the sponsor of this family-owned local fence company specializing in residential and commercial cedar fence, decks, and outdoor rooms, pergolas, sheds, whatever you need. Check them out, elementfencing.com, and they made this happen. So Riley Smith's going to be sending back reports throughout the week, and he had a chance to catch up with a teammate of his, Matt Lauder, fellow tight end, and let's check out that interview real quick.
What's up, guys? This is Riley Smith here. Once again, thank you to Element Fencing for making this all possible. Here today, post-practice with my tight end here, Matt Lauder. Right after practice, we just got done balling out, so decided to interview my boy here. And I wanted to start off by doing this hot and saying, how are you going to achieve the impossible task of taking over my spot when I leave?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. Like, over the years, I mean, you taught me many things, high football IQ, and I'm excited to, get rolling next year. I mean, we've been having a good year together so far, so it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this kid. Bronco Nation, you should too, because he is an unbelievable worker, super talented kid, and also he's from down south in Florida with me. And I wanted to ask you, coming from Florida, coming from Gainesville, what is your favorite thing about Idaho?
Man, Idaho is awesome, man. I think probably just the people in Idaho are great, man. Everything about Idaho is just amazing. I love the snow. I'm a skier myself. I like to get up on the slope sometimes. So, yeah, man, Idaho's an amazing place. What about you?
I'd say my favorite's the food, no doubt. I mean, down south the food's good too, but you can't beat Boise potatoes and all that comes with it. And going to the football side of things, the tight ends, we like to jar out. We like to get in the trenches. That's one of our favorite things to do in this offense. What is your favorite run scheme and run block to do?
I'd probably say pound, which is where I have a removal block, which is one-on-one with the DN. I like to jar out on that, man, get some movement, and, we get after it. So.
All right, last question. From the bowl game, what is your favorite gift that you got, especially from Gronk with all the Gronk swag? What is your favorite thing you got that you're going to be sporting the rest of the week?
Yeah, I really like the Oakley visors, the Oakley glasses, sorry about that. The Oakley glasses are really nice. They got a cool tint to them, so excited about that. I like the football we got. I was throwing it around in the room a little bit. Maybe we can get in the pool and throw it around, so I'm excited about that.
Yes, sir. This is with Matt Lauder, my guy right here. Excited for him next year. He's going to be balling out. Appreciate you guys.
Again, thanks to Element Fencing for allowing that interview to happen. Riley's kind of a natural there, guys, with the interview. And we got some more content coming. He sent me back some footage from Topgolf today. I know, Mike, the quarterback's typically the better golfers on the team, right? But we got some footage of some of the linemen out there trying to swing it. We got some funny footage from Topgolf. We'll be saving that for tomorrow morning. I don't know the exact time. I got to work it out with Mike Prater. I think it's tomorrow, Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow's Mike Prater. So we'll be on at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, regular show tomorrow with Mike Prater. We'll have some more content from Topgolf, and Riley Smith's going to give us a tour of the hospitality suite as well. But a lot of fun down here, and I do want to play one more quick bite. Not the full interview, but I had a chance to catch up with a couple players, Billy Bowens, Rodney Robinson, and Jalen Clark. And obviously, Jalen Clark, a defensive guy, corner that is looking to finish this season strong and build some momentum going into next season. So here's Jalen Clark talking about being down here for the bowl game.
Obviously, a lot of people, damn near half the team is from here. So, it's really exciting to have a lot of people be able to see their families, people in the hotel. But being able to get out in the sun and seeing the palm trees is definitely good. It was crazy to see when we left to Vegas. It snowed right before we left. So, out here, we know we're not getting no snow. So it's real good to be out there and be in the sun.
Just to think where you guys were a month ago, not even sure you'd get to a bowl game.
Yeah.
To now have a ring coming and be champions and now playing UCLA in another NFL stadium, how do you describe the last month, man?
I think you describe it as that's college football. I mean, it's 2023, all the type of things with the no divisions, and, it's never over until it's over. And I think with this team, how tight we are, and we talked about this since fall camp, and, the seniors always talked about this, probably one of the tightest teams we've been on. And I think that right there shows a testament of, what we've done towards the latter part of the season, being able to stick together.
So what would it mean? I know the ring's nice, championship's nice, but to finish it off with a 9th win, beating UCLA, a bowl, whether it's to cap this season, move ahead for next season, whatever, how motivated are you guys to write another chapter in this story?
The goal in our team room, we see it every day, is to win a Mountain West championship in a bowl game with academic integrity and academic excellence. So I think being able to finish this off, we were sitting, like you said, a month ago, really, having to self-reflect on a lot of different things with the circumstances we were in. But, you know, being able to come in, like you said, finish the season off with 2 goals that we've always set out for ourselves, regardless of how it's been going. Like you said, get the 9th win against a Power 5 team, a good team over there, a well-coached team. I think it goes to show that for these seniors that are going to be gone, you know, that won't be able to come back next year, this all for them at the end of the day.
I mean, I know
the rest of the interview with Jalen Clark, you guys can pick up on the BNN YouTube channel. We got the Rodney Robinson interview up there as well. And then finally, just wanted to play one quick bite from Billy Bowens. We'll go defense. Well, now we'll go offense. Billy Bowens, 6th-year senior, his final game with Boise State coming up on Saturday. Here's Billy Bowens.
Fortunate, you know, give all the glory to God and our staff, you know, and our players for being resilient. Everyone's sticking together. It's not an easy task to do, but I'm glad we were able to accomplish it.
How'd you get it done?
Just sticking together, you know, being who we are, loving each other, believing in each other even when no one else does. You know, no one knows those conversations we have, especially when the doors are closing. They're rough. You know, people think it's always good just because we're here. Nah, it was a rough season. You know, you have those times when you're low. And, you know, you got to rely on other people and lean on your brothers and, you know, pick other people up too. So it wasn't easy, but I'm glad we made it.
As a 6th-year guy, like this is literally your last game. Like, how badly do you want to win this? What would it mean for you for your last college game to know you had to win?
I mean, you always want to go out a winner in everything you do, you know, just being competitive, especially being in this field. You know, you want to win and do everything the right way and go out a winner. I mean, I'm super fortunate to be in this position to play this game. You know, not a lot of people get this opportunity. Super blessed and fortunate for this, and I'm super happy to go out there and play one more last one.
Again, I don't want to crash your show and take up too much time, guys, but a lot of great interviews on the BNN YouTube channel. Folks can go check them out. We got 4 or 5 minutes with Rodney Robinson, Jalen Clark, and Billy Bowens. Those full interviews are up, as well as some practice footage as well, some more Riley Smith content. We'll play a little more of those interviews on the morning show tomorrow, and then, again, they'll be back at practice on Thursday, and then interviews after practice. They went to Topgolf tonight. I think tomorrow they're going to Universal Studios after practice to have some fun there, mixing some fun and stuff. And then Friday will be the press conference, and there's a charity event as well. Haven't seen Gronk yet. My understanding is he is going to be doing a meeting with the team at some point. They are going to get to meet Gronk and see him at some point. Haven't seen that yet. He is hosting the bowl game. I don't know if you guys have seen the trophy or not. It's actually like a WWE-style belt that they're going to that Gronk will, I believe, on the stage be presenting to the winning team. I mean, you think about how crazy this season has been, guys. Rob Gronkowski could be handing Spencer Danielson the belt after this game at SoFi Stadium if they win this game. So
that's so on brand. That is so on brand for this year, man. As Johnny said about 9 weeks ago, I've just never seen so much drama in my life, and now it's capped off with Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk.
And apparently, I don't know if we're supposed to say this or not, but I don't know if you guys saw that the T-Dog Blitz is making the trip. They put it on social media that the T-Dog Blitz is coming, and there may be a special moment during the game with Blitz and Gronk. We'll just leave it at that. So if you're, I don't know if they'll show that on TV or what the plan is during a timeout or what, but if you know how crazy Rob can get, and Blitz is going to be there, and you can put 2 and 2 together, maybe.
You might need to talk to your friends over at Circa. They might need to put some live betting odds on a Gronk hamstring tear.
That'd be great, man. No, just on the race, if it happens in general, BJ, make sure you get footage of that on BNN.
I will do that. And I do want to give it one quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors, guys. This is not a cheap trip, as you can imagine, spending 5 days in LA down here. So we mentioned Element Fencing helping with Riley Smith, but certainly you mentioned Taco Bell, and we're going to get to that here in a second and moving forward in our ad break and getting to CJ Tiller. But SON Management and Steven and the whole crew there, we appreciate Stan and the Nicolason family for helping make this possible. So go get out, get some Taco Bell. Johnny, you're an advocate of their breakfast quesadillas, I know. So thank you to Taco Bell for the support, and Idaho Central Credit Union as well. We'll have another episode next week, I believe, of the Tyson Degenhart Show. They're doing an NIL deal with him. And so ICCU.com, check them out. We appreciate ICCU for their support of Bronco Nation News, and certainly Ball Ventures, Allquist, Tommy Allquist and Company, BVAdev.com. Check them out if you're looking for new space, a developer. They're Idaho's developer, Ball Ventures, Allquist, BVA. So, and of course, Travis Hawks. You probably got that shirt, Mike, from the Blue and Orange store. They're selling all the NIL gear. They have the championship gear, and they wanted me to throw in, they have the LA Bowl gear as well. So if you're looking for a Mountain West championship hat or shirt that the team wore, you can get that at the Blue and Orange store. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. We appreciate them and all of our great sponsors, Row Painting, and we go down the line, Lithia Ford of Boise. We couldn't have BNN. We couldn't make the show possible without them. So I appreciate you guys for letting me on. We're going to take another quick 90-second timeout. I'll hang around with you guys, but I'll let you guys do the majority of the talking here. I know we got a lot of questions too, guys, in the comment section. So if folks want to get their questions in, their comments in, we will make sure we get to those at some point in the show. But having fun down here in LA. Appreciate you guys for letting me join. And we'll talk CJ Tiller here in 90 seconds. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON Management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON Management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com.
All right, Ball Talk. Appreciate your stuff, BJ. Taco Bell update. Sanford. It's Tiller time. It's Tiller time across the USA. It's Tiller time. It's Tiller time. Hey, 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 CJ Tiller is your starting quarterback coach. If you're the quarterback coach, if you're the OC, you see this information in front of you. You're starting a true freshman quarterback who's barely taken a snap. Just clear your head. What's the process like?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about CJ Tiller, and Sky Ship asked the question, his strengths, weaknesses. Candidly, we had our commit at Colorado, Ryan Staub, who ended up starting the final game against Utah and playing very well. So we had his commitment fairly early in the process. So I don't know CJ Tiller well at all. I think he's, certainly had a fairly big name in the recruiting process relative to Boise State signing him. Fairly heralded recruit, would appear that he has some athleticism. But I think every quarterback is kind of the same in the sense that when you're putting together, your opening script, your scripted plays, I think it's going to be really important for CJ Tiller to get into rhythm with what Andrew Luck told our staff. We always asked him, what do you want? He said, yeah, he said, I want to get hit play. So a called quarterback run. Okay. Or a called, bootleg off of a hard play action where you break contain and have the option to take off and run. Because frankly, when you're a quarterback, you sometimes don't feel like you're in the game until you get hit. And I loved getting hit, and I loved trying to deliver a blow. And even if it didn't look great, I still like doing it. And that makes you feel like, okay, all right, boom. All right. Now I'm good.
I'm playing football. Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes when, if you just start off handing the ball off, and then it's 3rd and 10 and you gotta take a 5-step drop from the shotgun and, everything's just kind of blending together because you're not in rhythm. I think that's the first thing is get him a get hit play. Second thing that Andrew Luck said is that get into rhythm a throw where he can get a completion, whether it be, some type of quick screen, a bubble screen, something to get the ball out of his hands that he's like, okay, I can do this. And then I think in the first 10 plays, you got to have a shot play. You have something that's designed that you have a high likelihood against UCLA's defense, which is undergoing their own change with D'Anthony Lynn taking the defense coordinator job at USC across town. But something that you have a high likelihood of either getting a one-on-one matchup and letting him throw the ball down the field, or schematically something to get, somebody open. And Austin Bolt, running behind the defense because their safeties always fill against this particular run fit look. Those are the things that I think that that Bush should do to get him into rhythm. And, I know pretty much every coordinator that I've been around has some form of scripted plays. And I think it'll be important to not only have those things, built for CJ Tiller in his first start, but also give him a lot of opportunities to rep it this week in practice, in the walkthroughs leading up to game, where it's just second nature. And by the time you get through that script, you're playing ball, and that's the ideal situation.
I want play action first play. I want him throwing deep first play. Play action, go deep. Do that Austin Bolt shot on play one, man. The UCLA thinks they're going to be running the ball 90% of the time. They're expecting Ashton Jeanty to get 30 carries in this game. Play action, new quarterback, first play. Mike, throw it deep.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is that most good defensive coordinators, they anticipate that. Very rarely do you see safeties playing overly aggressive on the first snap of the game. Typically first snap of the game, it's got to be something schematically that you've dialed up versus their coverages. But there's going to be a little bit of unknown because, there is a change in defensive coordinator, and there's going to be a personality change. Maybe it's going to be a heavy pressure. And if it's heavy pressure on the first play of the game, and you get CJ Tiller blindside hit by a scot-free rusher, that's not a great way to settle in a true freshman first-time starter against a Pac-12 school.
What do you do? Okay, that's kind of schematically. Let's talk psychologically. I'm sure you've had quarterbacks making their first start, and damn it, you can tell they're really nervous, okay? It's up to you, coach, to, coach, teach, motivate it out of them. Some kids probably have it. Some kids might get there eventually. Some kids maybe never get there. What have you done? What do you think Bush is doing? What do good coaches do to win the psychological battle and make sure that they do get in and they know what they're doing and they're not just nervous? Is it like flipping a coin? Can you tell when a kid is nervous or not? And can you coach it out of them?
We went through this exact same thing, ironically, Johnny, a year ago. Was Owen McCown, son of Josh McCown, made his first start as a true freshman. Game 4, we'd already played 2 quarterbacks at CU. Game 4 against who else? But the University of California at Los Angeles Bruins. And to be honest, like, Owen looked very young, like incredibly young, and he weighed 157 pounds. CJ Tiller's not 157 pounds. And you also had a football family that is watching you call the game, and in that game, I wanted to get him outside the pocket early. I wanted to, spend time. I spent an extra time with him that week, just knowing that I had his back as a play caller, that I was going to do everything I could in my power to get him into rhythm. And Owen played well. Like he actually had some of our best quarterback play of the season in that 4th game of the season against UCLA. And, and I think the big thing is just, making sure that they don't feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. And that's sometimes the problem if you go pass heavy early. A quarterback might overanalyze that in their first start, and they might actually feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. So I think just spending that extra time with the quarterback, making sure that you have normal conversations that you would have if it was April and you were just going through postseason cut-ups. I think you have to have those same type of vibes with that quarterback to make them feel settled.
Does anything happen in the play like this week? It was Colt Fulton, it was CJ Tiller, and there was a narrative, well, Tiller's the scholarship kid. You pass on him here and start a 3-year walk-on. What's his future going to be? Do those politics, have they ever entered the building as far as your career goes, where maybe you'd rather just play the walk-on? He's been in your system longer, or in this case, they've both been in Bush's system the same amount of time. But is there anything to that ever?
I think there might be in the new portal era. I think there might be, but I don't think that's the decision that was made.
Sure. Yeah.
It's funny watching these clips of number 0 spin the ball around. I do like a quick release. I could see that, very efficient in getting the ball out of his hands. I think some RPOs early, whether it be behind the line of scrimmage RPO game, whether it's the now screens or the bubbles. But I think that, those are the kinds of things with somebody who has a quick release that would be, I think, really beneficial, for CJ Tiller.
I'll tell you this. We had him on Idaho Sports Talk this time last year, right after signing day. He was the best high school football player I think I've interviewed in 10, 15 years. It was a beautiful interview. He's really good at it. He has that quarterback demeanor. I'm sure you've recruited, and I'm sure you wanted that. You listen to this guy when he gets media opportunities. Hopefully we can have him on BNN and IST sometime soon, but he's a sharp kid, but you never know. I mean, you get out there, your first time's your first time, right? You've seen quarterbacks succeed their first time out, and then you've seen probably the exact opposite. I mean, are you telling Colt Fulton right now, Coach, be really ready on this thing? Like, you probably said that to all your backups, but is that any different, what you would say to Colt Fulton here?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think those characteristics, I mean, that goes into the evaluation process, and even reading through all the comments here from Ball Talk viewers and listeners, that Bush had an evaluation process with CJ at Missouri. And that's, learned that from our viewers. But, so he was looking for a lot of those characteristics. I think when you do have that ability to be composed in maybe an uncomfortable situation of getting interviewed in a media market that you haven't spent any time with, and come across as confident, humble, I think that's a big, those are big traits that go into that evaluation process. I think UCLA, the bottom line is UCLA has really good defensive front. They do. I watched against University of Colorado. I think that was the game that got Coach Prime pretty fired up at the offensive line coach, and maybe even the offensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, from this season, the amount of times that Shedeur was hitting that game. This is a different system, though. Boise State uses tight ends. Boise State has a very established ground game, obviously with the best running back in the country in Ashton Jeanty, and George Halani, for one last hurrah. It sounds like it has been confirmed that this will be his last game, wearing the Boise State colors. So I think you got to play behind your strengths, but let's just face it. That's what Boise State's been doing all year. So I don't see anything changing that much. I think that you might see, a Prince Strawn featured more prominently. Why? Well, CJ Tiller and him came in together, man. They're boys. They're freshmen. There's a connection. They threw together when all the vets were doing their own thing, and
totally.
Didn't know what to do, and and so I could see a Prince Strawn day being pretty awesome. Maybe make some downfield throws, whether it be some back shoulders or 50-50 balls. Prince Strawn's the guy who can do those things down the field for you.
What about this aspect? Because, you're starting a true freshman at quarterback in a bowl game. You've been in a lot of these big games, so obviously you're going to look over at UCLA's defensive staff. What do you know UCLA is going to do, regardless of who their coordinator is on the interim? I mean, they know that they're going against maybe the best backfield in America right now, Coach, and they know also that their quarterback is making his first start. Like, where, from a coaching standpoint, you're an OC, your mind, what's it telling you you're going to face defensively? Do you know usually?
Yeah. So simply stated, like in very layman's terms, this defensive staff is going to go in with the mindset that this true freshman first-time player, not only first-time starter, first snaps against the Power 5 team, that was a hot team earlier in the season. Let's call it like it is.
They were ranked. They're
going to go with the mindset that CJ Tiller's got to beat us. So how does UCLA do that? Well, I think it's a combination of things. They're going to be very gap sound in what they do. Because if you just say we're just going to blitz this quarterback back to the Stone Age, heavy and screen game, heavy blitzes oftentimes yield big runs, and because you get guys moving in the front, and one small movement that compromises one gap, and Ashton Jeanty or George Halani might make you pay to the tune of 60 yards on one carry. And that's very realistic, and it's on film this year, multiple times against multiple opponents, even the UCF and even Washington. There were some big runs early on in that game. But what I would say is that it's going to be a combination of, I believe that their their pressure package is going to be not a pass rushing blitz package, but a run sound blitz package where you can guarantee you're canceling out your gaps. And in the process of doing so, on play action, make it very challenging on play actions to hold up to be able to put the ball down the field.
Isn't there an element too that you can use to pump CJ Tiller up in this situation? You're not going to see any tough coverages back there, are you? Aren't you going to tell CJ you have Prince, you have Bolt, and probably a 50-50 ball situation most of the game? I can't see them putting one, maybe even two, most cases, not two guys deep on this. You're going to put things closer to the line of scrimmage and pay attention to the backs, right, Coach? I mean, as a quarterback, if you can go out and execute this, I mean, if a veteran quarterback would eat this defense for lunch, opportunities might be there, right, because of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the NFL background, and they're not going to have a new system defensively. So D'Anthony Lynn, it's D'Anton.
Man-to-man coverage a lot. Those kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, corners on an island.
He has an NFL background, which is the picture's changing constantly for quarterbacks. So I don't think that it's going to be commit 8 to the box, and play man coverage everywhere else. I think it's going to be simulated pressures where you see individual blitzers come and maybe the front moves one gap, and then the coverage behind it is changed between, zone coverages, maybe some man pressures. I think the NFL is, those systems are very good at doing their best to confuse quarterbacks. And I think UCLA's done an effective job this year. I mean,
you can tell when there's an NFL guy. You're like, that coordinator's an NFL guy. NFL guy. He does this.
It's typically a lot of pre-snap movement. It's typically, a changing picture, pre-snap to even post, like your initial cadence, and then another look, and then post-snap's different as well. There's going to be some moving parts back there, and anybody on that defensive staff is probably capable of just calling the calls that they've been running for 12 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I saw it against. I've seen him one time and really watched him. The 2 games I really watched UCLA this year was the CU game, and then I really watched him against Washington State, and
they did some good things.
Oh man,
they were ranked. They were ranked a good portion of this season.
Cam Ward, who I think's the best portal quarterback. I think he's.
Do you really, Cam Ward?
Yeah, he's the guy that's the best plug and play athlete. Did you see his Hail Mary he threw? It went traveled 73 yards or something in the air. I've never seen that before. He threw it from his 27 and it was still made it to the end zone. I was like, my gosh. And
didn't your boy GJ develop him over there at Incarnate Ward?
I think his mom and dad developed him, to be quite honest.
Okay. Not all GJ Kenny.
I think some of it had to do with genetics. I'm
just kidding. But I love the Cam Ward kid ahead of DJ and some of these other portal guys too. I think DJ's landing on his where's DJ going? I thought I just heard that today. BJ, did you see that? Yeah. It was a big school. Anyway, I want to talk about.
Is he following Jonathan Smith to Michigan State?
No, I think Aiden Childs already did.
I didn't think it was Michigan State. I thought it was back to the SC.
So Cam Ward was under 50% completion against UCLA. He was 19 of 39 for 197, 1 touchdown. 2 interceptions.
That's the defense that America was screaming about at that point in the season, Coach. As you remember, it was like, have you seen UCLA play defense? This isn't that defense, though, but the principles and the teams are there. And
I disagree. So as the season progressed, Colorado scored 16. Arizona, who was one of the hottest offenses in the country the last 6 games of the season, scored 27. Arizona State scored 17. USC scored 20-0. And in the USC game, 10 of those points came in the last 18 minutes of the game. And then Cal scored 14. So they're pretty good.
Bull motivation. Unmotivated bull teams. Have you seen them? Have you heard the stories?
UCLA is more likely to be in that spot. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade.
What happens to an unmotivated bull team? Like what causes the unmotivation? And is it coaches and players?
Well, I think there's a lot of weird, strange dynamics surrounding this UCLA program right now. I mean, basically everybody in Los Angeles, all the major writers are saying that, Martin Germain isn't, why is he keeping Chip Kelly? They've been just mired in mediocrity for, it feels like at least the last, how long has he been there? 4, 5, 6 years?
Yeah, 17 or 18 was his first year there. So yeah.
And, so I think that, there's that component. There's the transfer portal entries that from UCLA, there's an opt-out, the defensive end, the outside backer. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. He's an unbelievable pro prospect. And then you just wonder about the quality of the practices. This isn't a program, UCLA, that necessarily finished on an incredible high note. I mean, they beat USC, if you look at this, lost to Cal, or they lost to Cal, right, to end the season. Cal scored 33 on them. That was the final game.
And
of the
got
season.
bowl eligible on it. It was
Correct.
a huge game.
And I will say this, guys. I will say this: you look at the history of this bowl, and certainly this bowl's only been around 2 years, but it was essentially the old Las Vegas Bowl before this, where you had the middle of the pack 6-6 type Pac-12 team playing the Mountain West champion. The Mountain West team wins more times than not. In both instances in this bowl game in SoFi Stadium, Fresno State has a win and Utah State has a win the last 2 years over the Pac-12 team. So you get the best, the Mountain West team that does seem like they're 100% motivated from talking to guys. Like, the ring's great, 8 wins is great, but they want 9. Like, they want 9. Like, they want this season to end as crazy as this season's been. Like, this is and I think Jeanty coming back fired up this team. I think, Danielson getting the gig fired up this team. I think that Boise State is 100% fired up for this game, and we'll see with UCLA. But Mike, maybe, when we had that season show the other night, I keep calling it a season show, the bowl show with the coaches the other night, all those guys, they feel like Chip Kelly is going to be a little personally motivated in this game. His first game as head coach at Oregon was against Boise State when they came in there and beat him. He has not beaten Boise State before as a coach. Maybe, I don't know why, but Riddle and Goodell, all those guys thought that Chip Kelly was going to be motivated for this one.
Well, I don't think it matters if Chip Kelly's motivated or not. It matters about the guys that are fighting between the white lines. And that's the bottom line. And I think when you're a Power 5 program and you go to UCLA and they have plenty of high profile recruits over the last 5 years, and they're playing, at 6-6 against the Mountain West team in December 16th, like, that's not what they came to UCLA to do. So Chip can be all pissed off as he wants about what happened against Boise State 2 decades ago, it seems like. But if the guys that are in between the white lines are not having great practices, then it's not going to matter. And to me, the biggest indicator of that is that same group of players lost to Cal 33-7 at home last time out after beating USC.
And they were done after that. Yep.
Yeah, that's an indicator to me. Like, it was like their bowl game was beating USC in the Collie against the Heisman Trophy winner from 2022 against Caleb Williams. And they did it. And they held Caleb Williams. He had 384 yards, but they held him to 20 points.
They beat him. They won the game.
And their leading rusher had 17 yards rushing. USC's leading rusher, Marshawn Lloyd, had 17 yards rushing. That was their bowl game. And the UCLA program is in a very strange state of its current events. I think it's going to be a great game because UCLA still has great athletes. I think that having Dante Moore not there and transferring, actually UCLA's played a lot better football as a team with Ethan Garber starting at quarterback. He's a good runner. He's going to be he'll be motivated. I promise you that, because his job's been on the line all year. I think this is going to be a really interesting game. I mean, clearly, if you look at, who has maybe more NFL prospects, it might be UCLA, but man, I don't know. Like, I keep saying it.
They aren't playing.
I know. I mean, that's a big part of it. And so I think bowl motivation, major plus for Boise State.
Anything to go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, the spread. UCLA -4.5 in this, favored. The over-under is 49 total points scored. If you just want to bet Boise State to win on the money line, that's plus 165, essentially meaning if you bet $100 on Boise State just to win, you'll get 165 back and more than double your money. Coach Sanford.
And those lines are courtesy of our friends over at Circa Sports, by the way, circasports.com. They're in Las Vegas with the lines, Johnny.
Nice having BJ looking over us tonight.
In. Come on now.
All right, here's my pick for this game.
Who do you like?
I like Boise State in the money line, winning straight up.
Okay.
I think that the bull motivation piece, I don't think this thing's going to hit the over. True freshman quarterback starting. UCLA's offense hasn't been very electric unless it's been given turnovers. I think turnovers are going to be really, really critical, in this game. But I think it's going to be a fairly low scoring game. I think just because of UCLA's schematic, defensively, their scheme's very good. I think they still have great players, but I think bull motivation is going to show up, and Boise State's going to come out the hungrier dog. And like we said a couple of weeks ago, a hungry dog's a dangerous dog, and Boise State's going to be the dangerous dog on Saturday at SoFi Stadium.
I love it, man. BJ, anything before we get our listeners out of here on the second to last episode of the season for Ball Talk? Like Coach said, we'll be back in between the CFP and the national championship. So that week will be the conclusion of season one. And like you guys said, we'll have some announcements coming regarding the future of Ball Talk.
Yeah, I guess DJ is visiting Florida State. He hasn't committed there, but some folks in the comments were saying that he was visiting Florida State.
I think Cam Ward is too.
Yeah.
Cam Ward's visiting Florida State.
Isn't that crazy, Coach? You get to go quarterback shopping. Like if you were still the head coach, the OC at Notre Dame, you go and you say, Sam Hartman, yeah, get me him. I want him. Now you got the Duke kid coming in. Like you would have played.
I like him, man.
You would have played with Notre Dame's budget. You'd have been like, hey, BK, Brian Kelly, I like Cam Ward, but I think it might cost us $2 million to get it done. Do I have the go-ahead? What would Brian Kelly have said?
Yeah, we would have gotten the best one, man. There's no doubt.
I wanted your Kelly accent, but you didn't.
Man.
I wanted you to fire back. Hey, Coach, I need $2 million for Cam Ward. Do we have it?
Hey, Mike, let me talk to my people. My guys, they'll get this done for you. Just relax. Take it. Just hang out, man. I get it done for you.
Hey, one comment here. Dayton says over-under on Jeanty all-purpose yards, announcing his Heisman campaign on ABC this weekend. Mike, a little different situation. Going into the 2014 Fiesta Bowl, Jay Ajayi announced he was going pro, but he came out on that first carry on fourth down, scores the touchdown, had a huge game for him to announce he's going pro. Different situation, but first game for Jeanty since announcing he's coming back. I know you touched on that, but just Jeanty and the chances he has a huge game here to propel that Heisman talk that you're talking about. Do you expect Jeanty to come out motivated to play well in this one?
Of course. I'm saying slow start, not for Jeanty, but slow start because of the unknowns, and playing a really physical defensive front. And then a really good finish for Ashton Jeanty. And if I want to put yardage on it, I got Jeanty for $175.
Wow.
All purpose.
Okay. They are number one in the nation against the run. Some of those guys aren't playing in this game, but they are one of the better run defenses in the country. Final question here, Johnny. Johnny, James wants to know, we heard your singing earlier in the show. The viewership did go down a little bit when that came on, but I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Gronk is singing the national anthem for this game also. So, what are your thoughts? Who would sing a better national anthem, one of you or Gronk?
Well,
probably Gronk.
Yeah, I'm sure Gronk's. He's just.
It's definitely not me. So I'll just.
I know Gronk parties better than me or Johnny. I know that.
Oh man, I wish I could. In my
that
days,
should be the winning team. The winning team should get to party with Gronk after the game. I mean, Gronk should host a party.
The winning media. The winning
All
media.
Gronk needs is an invite. Okay, hey Gronk, where are we going? Come on.
That's crazy. That is a crazy part of this. Rob Gronkowski could be handing Spencer Daniels.
All right, I got vibes. I got vibes.
All right, guys.
Hey, real quick. I got vibes. All right. Close game. Relatively low scoring game. Ashton Jeanty breaks a 47-yard run. Spencer bangs a timeout with 2 seconds left. Jonah Dalmas, 49-yard field goal, sends UCLA into their Big Ten era with
this
the
is
L.
This is their final ever game with a Pac-12 patch on there.
You leave the West Coast, we're going to send you out of the West Coast.
Hopefully it's tied at least.
Hey, did you grow up hating UCLA, Coach? You did, huh? You could. You're a Rodney Peete guy. You hated Troy Aikman.
Oh man, yeah. I was I was a Todd Marinovich guy, a Rob Johnson guy, Keyshawn Johnson guy, and UCLA.
Brad Otten.
Brad Otten guy. But UCLA, I'll never forget. I was a ball boy. And those, first of all, those uniforms, you can love them or hate them. Seeing a guy like J.J. Stokes lined up, just freaking veins popping out of his massive biceps.
He was a beast.
I'm like,
oh,
that's what they look like right there. Man, that's a player.
Okay. Hey, final thing for me, I just want to thank you guys. I know you said we had one more episode, but it has been awesome, and I really want to appreciate you guys for Ball Talk this year. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you guys have a great Christmas. Hope the listeners have a great Christmas. Thanks again to the sponsors you see at the top of the screen there: Idaho Central Credit Union, the Blue and Orange Store, Lithia Ford of Boise, BVA, Taco Bell, and Row Paint. This show would not be possible without them. And again, guys, you're a natural, Mike. It's been a lot of fun getting you involved in the show, and excited for one more episode again right before the national championship game, kind of a season wrap up. And we have signing day next week as well. So I'll be live with Mike Prater, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. here in Los Angeles tomorrow morning. So full coverage tomorrow morning with Mike Prater and myself at 9 a.m. And we'll have coverage all week. But thank you to you guys. Great season, and excited for the game Saturday, and excited for one more episode to wrap it up.
Appreciate you, BJ. Thanks for letting me get my start here on Bronco Nation News and opening you a lot of doors. It's been a whole lot of fun, man, and can't wait to see Johnny one more time this football season, and then we'll have big plans for next year and beyond. So
trying to invite him up, Johnny. I invited him up. Now he's traveling. We got to get him up to the. I'm not going to give the location or the date to have people show up, but our BNN Company Appreciation dinner. We need to get Mike Sanford back in Boise, man.
Yeah, we just got to contractually work this out for what it's going to cost you to do Ball Talk season 2. But I know me and the Sandman, we are open for negotiations as soon as season 1 is over. So
if you look at it, the ratings are just the best ratings on television. If you just look at it, it's the best rate. it is what it is. We just got great
Coach.
ratings.
Coach, he knows. We'll talk about it at the meeting, right?
Yeah, both of our agents have all the numbers. We've run the numbers. The numbers are there.
Episode 17. Get us out of here, Johnny.
All right, Ball Talk season 1, episode 17. Love ya.